June 16th, Kristel Candelario arrives home and finds the body of her 16-month-old baby.
What's that? So tell me the address so we can help you. 3129, what am I saying? Okay, is it a single subword apartment? Please. What's your name? Kristel. What's your last name, Kristel? Kristel Candelario, please tell me. And what's your number in case you get that? What's your last number? Disconnected. 507-882. Tell me what's going on. What's going on? Tell me what happened. Okay, I'm going to give you a few moments to calm down. Kristel. Please listen to me so I can help you. She don't respond. She's white. She's white. I'm understanding you. Tell me who's white. Who's white? Your mom? Is it your mom? I'm your mom, yes. Do you live here? Your mother is dying? She's dying. I don't know what to do. Stop me, please. I need help. How old is she? I'm going to get you over to emergency.
After receiving this chilling phone call police report to the home on 3100 block of West 97th Street.
Maybe at 7 or 8 p.m.
Okay.
So she was screaming like, probably for pain or something like that. In this morning when I wake up, I took her in the morning for, JD, wake up, and she wake up, and when I see her, I see she looks like a really dry, like a, ¿cómo se dice cuando una persona se chupa, o sea, se...
Kind of like...
Yeah.
Like her face was sunken in?
So, yeah. Y ahí fue que yo me asusté y dije...
What time did you go to Detroit, Michigan on Monday? Monday morning? Okay. On Monday morning, what condition was Jaylene in?
She was okay.
She was okay? You go to Michigan, what time did you arrive in Michigan?
You say through here? Pela via, adesso. 30 minutos, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
2 hours and 30 minutes? Okay. So you get there, and when you arrive there, who do you meet up with?
Yo llegué a the hotel and she right away started working at the Uber. Pero ya después fui a visitar a otras amistades alrededor. She went to visit some friends around there. Who? Who did you go visit? Amistades. Who? Give me a name. David, that's the name. David? Yeah.
Later. So you arrive in 2 hours later, you get a hotel. Where did you stay?
No me recuerdo bien la ciudad que estaba ni a donde Detroit, Michigan, you don't know what city, you don't know what hotel, you gotta come out with something better than that.
No,
Okay.
pero el hotel donde él se estaba hospedando,
No,
Super A.
where you were staying, not David, where you were staying. We're not talking about David.
Super A,
You mentioned something about Uber.
yo estaba trabajando en Uber, sí.
She was working Uber. Why would you go, hold on, why would you go work Uber in Detroit, Michigan,
Porque yo
instead of
aprovechaba,
doing it here in Cleveland,
Sí, porque-
where your daughter is?
yo también trabajaba aquí en Uber, aquí en Cleveland.
Okay,
En
why go
Uber,
there, not do it here? Why not do it here? Your daughter's here.
Porque me iba a ver amistades también en Michigan,
She
entonces
was working some
aproveché.
friends over there in Michigan, so she took advantage of the fact that she was over there to visit people and she worked over there.
Pero no era siempre que lo hacía.
But not always. That's not, she didn't do that one.
At what point did you think that it would make sense to leave her here while you was in Detroit?
Él dice que no cuarto de la manera mal, pero ¿en qué momento tú pensaste que está bien
Por pasear, por
to travel?
por pasear,
Why not travel with you?
¿Por qué no llegaste a ir contigo?
porque yo pensaba regresar el viernes y ya quedarme con ella, o sea, era algo rápido, eventual, que no, porque no me iba a quedar en la casa de nadie,
She
como,
wasn't going to stay at anybody's house.
But why not bring her with you if you already knew that she had a condition going on at the time?
Si tú sabías que ella tenía una condición, estaba enfermita,
She needed
¿por qué no llevarla contigo?
porque por eso mismo, por yo pasear, por
She wanted to have a good time.
What first responders encounter is something that will never be erased from their minds. They find a deceased toddler who is Jalen Candelario, and they also find a distraught mother. Jalen is announced dead at the scene, and Kristel Candelario is taken in for questioning. Candelario claims she only left for that day of June 16th during her questioning. When the forensic pathologist examined the toddler's body, it was a different story. Jalen Candelario body. When pinched on the skin, her skin would stay in place, signs of severe dehydration. Also, the toddler had an abundant amount of feces on her body, on her fingers, fingernails, and feet. At the scene, first responders believed that Jalen had dirt on her lips. It was actually the baby feces. On her teeth, there was also feces. 2 months before, Jalen weighed 20 pounds. At the time of her examination, she weighed 13 pounds. That's a 7-pound weight loss on a 16-month-old child. Her body began to be transparent as her body began to feed on itself to survive. There was no body injuries beside her face, which had some self-inflicted scratches. Whether it was done in a conscious or in a semi-conscious state of mind while dying, they were unable to tell. Final cause of death was dehydration and starvation. Her kidneys had failed and caused her body to go into a state of ketoacidosis, which leads to coma and eventually death. The pain this innocent child endured wasn't hours or days. It was possibly a week. Babies suffer from separation anxiety. This starts at 4 to 5 months and is highest at 18 to 19 months. Jalen was 16 months. You may be asking yourself, what really happened? June 6th, Candelario is seen leaving her house at 11:51 in the morning. She comes back at 5 and is seen leaving. She is seen on flock camera in Detroit around 8. Here it's believed she's meeting up with a man, David, whom she mentioned during her interview. After arriving at Detroit, she spends a whole day there, and the following day she had a flight leaving Detroit for Puerto Rico. While Candelario is at the beach having the time of her life, her daughter is at home dying, with no food, dirty clothes, feces all over her. On June 9th, after midnight, we hear this innocent child last cry. This child suffered a miserable death. Her mother, the person this child relied upon, is on vacation with a man, having the time of her life, and not a single thought about her daughter is being crossed in her empty brain. The 32-year-old murderer was sentenced life in prison. She pleaded guilty to one charge each of aggravated murder and child endangerment in the death of her daughter, Jaylene. Kristel blamed mental health on what happened. She also stated that the same thing that happened to her daughter happened to her a week before leaving for vacation. No one could have any remorse for this lady, especially after a phone call she had in November 23rd, talking to her friend, stating how fun her trip was to Puerto Rico, how they bought so much food, how they rented an expensive car. Not a single word is mentioned about her daughter. This woman also has constant communication with her mother. They talk a lot, and on these phone calls, they mention how God has forgiven her actions, taking absolutely no responsibility or accountability for her actions. God won't be at court forgiving this murderer. The last thing she said that was absurd is she stated it was an accident. She didn't kill the baby intentionally, that it wasn't like she grabbed a gun and shot her, or pick up a bat and beat her. She didn't bleed. Jaylene Candelario, a beautiful angel whose life was cut short for no reason, a position she should have never been in, a tragedy that should have never happened. A life of an innocent little angel could have been saved with just one phone call.